Hello, species value nature system. Hello, Lost Legion. Hear your name. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year. Now, we have the people that I've been complaining about because we have police recorded with interbranch corruption tied to my area through time, and this was recorded and confessed tied to Sandy Hook corruption through time, and this is recorded and confessed tied to doctors with database illusion stacking crimes through time. There's a Leahy family involved, recorded and confessed involved. A Lombardo family recorded and confessed involved. A Yagman family recorded and confessed involved. All tied to doctors that have been forging names, sticking things in databases, lies through time. In campuses, they even did so in a hospital campus using a triage to hide child predators from police against in other words, they're setting up police reports so they can write other, because they have crime methods with kids. The Weathersfield police said that then they attach you to fake conversations. So they're playing a conversation, so they're communicating when they don't even understand, and then they pretend they're not communicating that. So we have Trade Center crimes too with these people, like a Scalora family, and other other relatives of one of my neighbors pretended to know me through time. Had crime rolls with campuses I went to, but after I didn't know him the whole time growing up. He pretended with police and stuff like that per them that he knew me growing up, like a Subby Scalora, and a Phil Colello, who I only know from his recorded roles with confessions tied to what is it called? KKK themed drug dealing and database crime rolls with a Fred Grisey who didn't go to my school either. I filmed him with the KK, not with the KKK confession, but that's recorded various ways. But I filmed him with tied confessions, before and after him smoking marijuana that he was selling through our school with other people with crimes with databases. There's a security guard named John, a Italian guy, recorded and confessed involved with judges, family members, and other kids that were in my school criminally, like with signing classes. A guy, Dina Villas, also recorded and confessed involved with database crime, drug crimes with officers in school, retired. Also a Dillon family, and his wife, Anna Dillon. I don't know if that's his wife. Excuse me, but their roles with the new neighbors and with the past neighbors. Also with on Trinity campus, off Trinity campus conversations. Just because they were my neighbors, my parents, I hadn't been here in like 10 years. And just because they were, in other words, they had an extended family member, Orion and Terry Lewis, recorded and confessed involved with crimes with deans switching names too. So, and with database crimes at Trinity College and with CCSU, and with all kinds of other employments through Weathersfield police corruption originally progressed. Then they have internation police corruption through their extended family, and through immediate police. We have police corruption, and we have it within as court corruption through time. There's a Judge Smith recorded and confessed involved breaking rules with them when I was a kid. I had to write a complaint against the Judge Smith because he did that, not per the rules, and we're supposed to be there for an arraignment. He used it as a means to spread rumors. The judge about and attach me to people that I never had a conversation with. It, which they do. They direct people to federal crime rolls, and then they have them pretend, sequence shift and pretend other narratives, and then time goes on, and they want that to be remembered like that. Because they made it wrong, because these are child predators, interbranch and foreign police here, intercampus. Fred Grisey and Ray Clough also said that there's I don't know, they're not a Sardelli family. I also had nothing to do with. They also non-verbally confirmed that they're involved with the police, with the on-campus, off-campus drug and evidence crimes, sex crimes. They had a sex predator who was the school principal, proven. Also further recorded and confessed. Also a long time further recorded and known. Child predators tied to these courts and to these families in my hair with the people who were from my grade growing up that I never had anything to do with, tied to Ray Clough's cliques. Also with his cousins, I never had anything to do with his cousins. So they direct exceptions to reality, so they can exploit those exceptions criminally through time. And this was what was used for the Trade Center attack. This was used fake news, fake both of sides of news, because then they're stealing people's voice. Since I was a kid, they've been directing people to evidence crime roles on record, recorded, and off the record with that, and that's with connections between the colleges, like CCSU and Trinity College, are victims of what was on off-campus victim predator from a database solution stacking. Also with shipping police. Also Eric Oliveri, who I only know from a handful of times, and he was in a class with me. I had nothing to do with him in the class. The class also involved with the KKK, Confederate flag themed rape threats, and a Joshua Stryker, also with a Dean Alford, confessed shifting his name, using Facebook for evidence crimes with child predators. I never had a conversation or anything to do with Joshua Stryker in my life. Also with Joshua Julian. So for this new year, we're going to have them stop stacking names of people they're pretending that I know. And then I have to talk online like this because they're extorting me. Because if I went there with others, tried to report things to the police regularly, they don't do it. Because the intercity, they're connected through time, and they've been exploiting women with officers. There's a Carla Greco. I never had a conversation with her. She's not from my town. I never had anything to do with her in my life. Carla Greco and other Wethersfield police are recorded and confessed with evidence crime roles for child predators from my town. They say they were with the CIA. They also recorded and confessed with federal crime roles attaching me to fake conversations about the CIA. Also recorded and confessed with criminal roles with the context of the Trade Center attack right before it, and with people tied to proven sequence shifts in the Ninth Circuit that day, and since with federal crimes. So there's a Scalora family also recorded and confessed involved with crimes with Wethersfield police, interstate, and worse than interstate. Who knows? And with New York, does anybody know the Scalora family? There's also a Claudia Scalora recorded and confessed with CCSU crimes, also worse than interstate. And with like lottery program and stuff like that. And with a DeMoro family that's supposed to be recorded, it's supposed to be a relative of my neighbor Ray. So we're going to examine a map of this kid, because Ray Clough and his sister and family came into their house at 80 Carriageville Drive when I was a kid, and that was reportedly the house of it was definitely the house that had a lady who had a dog who used to come through those one of the flip flap doggy doors when it come on its own without a leash, a vicious dog, and he used to come and try to attack my sister. She almost got hurt by it one time. Guy saved her. So, and then that dog died. Got hit by a car. Anyways, that was the reported what is it called? Girlfriend of a former police chief. Now the The family members, extended and immediate of the new police chief, are also recorded and confessed involved with the houses in my neighborhood with crimes with the kids and with the evidences and what they did with fake conversations with me because they heard I raised my voice because I caught them having a conversation with me with people that are tied to the Trinity College, also with area confessions about their roles with corruption, threatening women and little girls with rape and stuff like that, and with drug crimes with them, and with evidence crimes with them too. One I don't even know. Recorded and confessed non-verbally involved. It was crazy how they talk. See, they don't and they do that because they don't want to talk about acts. I'm talking about the sequence shifts and the evidence crime acts also being used to threaten not to report what a girl and houses next to her and her family on Pondside Drive are tied to. Across the street from her house too, also a Mr. Neville, when I was in 8th grade, recorded and confessed involved with crimes with investigators tied to Rickshaw and Fayonne, recorded and confessed, with his brother and sister and parents tied to a Leahy family, and to others with a court, like a Brian Silver, recorded and confessed involved with, also with they say a scuba shop on the Saugeen Highway, involved with child predators. And then, in other words, there's a Marisol online. There's a Christine Bardot, or whatever, who works in New Britain Superior Court. A bunch of them are there that have no business being in a courtroom, working for a court. You know what I'm saying? We have sick courts. We have a Joe Aiello family also connected to the houses in my area. Bad federal crimes rules. And within as cliques, recorded and confessed, within as interstate, like criminal justice cliques, and with doctors, and with judges and stuff like that, tied to Johnny Duke, and boxing, and all kind of rap mouths with that, tied to UPS, Eric Oliveri, and what's his name, Joshua Stryker. I never had anything to do with the Joshua Stryker. Recorded and confessed involved with the deans switching names, and with the on-campus death, with their roles with my previous neighbors and my new neighbors, tied to that. And my previous ones were tied to the place I was living, not knowing they were there, which was also recorded and confessed involved with the interbranch drug cliques, evidence predators, database solution stacking roles since I was a kid. Like with like doctor families, a Leahy family. There's like three or four brothers that look just like each other, and they have a wife, and or at least one or two women with it in the hospital, and with a in other words, they use a triage relationship. They hear you raise your voice or something, they could send you in for evaluation, and they write lies to do that. And what they do with that is so then they can forge names and pretend conversations with you, but then you can never get a response. There's a judge, Killian, also recorded and confessed criminally involved with that, but they're switching names. They switched names in sequence, so I need the judge who came first. I don't know if he was the first judge. In other words, we have federal criminals against each age of fact treatment, especially with the probate courts, and how they're tied to New Britain Superior Court, Hartford Superior Court criminally. Also, Eric Burgess, Eric Burgess. There's another Eric also recorded and confessed with New Britain Superior Court. Also Eric Burgess, but he also recorded and confessed involved with an Amy or Emily. Also recorded and confessed with New Britain, Hartford Superior Court, with crimes with children, with drugs, with a guy they said his name is Hunter. Doesn't sign things with tricks like that, with evidences, tricks with sequences. Also recorded and confessed the Hartford cop with on-off campuses crimes with CCSU and with verbal federal crimes. So then they can't. They talk about people behind their back because they're told, directed to pretend they know them or had known them, and then they can't for the rest of their life. They're stuck like that. We have sick officers. Also, further prison corruption, like tied to Johnny Duke, like with Clay Bay. Boxer used to be American heavyweight in the Olympics. Also tied to prison racket. These are bad guys, but they're working for states, and they're working for areas cops juxtaposed with foreign ones, and you know, they're incapable of defending us. They're incapable of it. We have people incapable of following the rules now because once they don't follow the rules, then they can't tell the truth. Now they're stuck. Database solution stacking. This was an organized crime method against Hartford, individually together, or each area of it, especially regarding the north end of Hartford, and regarding their roles, keeping only let realized tool rat mobs associated with that and with the campuses. So the only people who are going to get association with an educated mind are going to be people used for criminal things, like the people in the army with a Dave that lived near people house tall. All these ties intercity are the houses in my area, tied to a body dumping spot of a serial killer, tied to another body dumping spot, tied to houses on 2 Ride Highway, and around the school with the child predator proven, where there's more, and that's with already proven interbranch town offices, child predators that were already attached to them. And these are the same families because it's through a former police dispatcher, 2 Smiths, associated also with confessions and recorded proofs of more police and foreign and domestic associated with Stop and Shops and managers and stuff like that associated with that, with database solution crimes, federal crime rules, with the police, and they're making mistakes on evidence on purpose to hide their roles abusing kids because they need to cover lie progressions because they've been stacking databases with illusions too long. We have states and areas, voices, and stewards in collusion with other suit and tie nations, with other nations that are counter to the suit and ties, but the same thing and worse. Same thing. Don't understand because the Campus Marxiste was criminally re-engineered. So they're not like making people let complaints about facts and about sequence shifts, and they're making fights, and they're having police spread rumors, pretend they have the right to lie online and with areas because they know they have crimes in courts with illusions they stacked already. They have to hide now. They were hiding this from the Manafort treatments, Paul Manafort on office campus treatments of that. The street right next to CCSU is Paul Manafort Drive. There are no excuses for the way they lifted men and women to positions there. It's like a joke. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'd rather have use the men's names to have them disciplined, instead of having to bring the woman they brought into it. Like a dean of the English department is also recorded involved and confessed involved with doctors who he says switch the name. I don't know. He's involved with he said he's got evidence crime rolls threatening me because he made up a whole fake conversation with Magnanos, also recorded an East Hartford officer also recorded and confessed with off campus crime rules with other agencies and with foreign and domestic child predators. Also, there were other confessions about police forms with East Hartford associated with it. Also, the Connecticut, what is it called? The governor Governor Rowland recorded and confessed involved with the campus predators with crimes with the campus predators before with the police, because the police told him lies, or he told them to, because of their roles with that. In other words, they've been stacking, not just here. People in my area here have been tied to the intercampus cliques and positions with the police that they have no credibility. They're criminally foreign influenced. They have roles with database solution stacking through time. They have rules exploiting that through time, and then not letting it countered. And they have untimely deaths with that. And now they brought up the sex predators with the police, also with online rape threats, also with the court. Erickenerr. Different than Kerr, but that's also Kerr. That's also with that family, recorded and confessed involved with the sex predators, with the kids proven. Also further with the rape threats from the court, New Britain Superior Court, Erickenerr. Also, a Dave, Kerr, also still posting fake child predator maps, as people recorded and confessed tied to real child predator maps, with evidence crime rolls with the police from my town. Also, two detectives from my town, two Mendez brothers, recorded and confessed involved with a KKK-themed drug dealing, Latin gang-themed drug dealing, Italian drug dealers with crimes with interbranch through time. It's ridiculous. We need to get something on paper, because that's why we have child. Also, they have religious spots associated with the child predators. And with crime methods recorded, but we're not having any place where we can make complaints. Fox CT and WFSB said that they have child crime rolls with a Christine Bedard. I don't know where she lives or what her kids' names are, but they're recorded and confessed involved. They should not be attaching me to fake conversation, because she had crime rolls in other past cases too. They have predators from my town in a court, men and women who have no business dealing with facts and reality, have no business dealing with morality in such a position. They have to be out of the court. You see what I'm saying? With the judges. They can't follow the rules. They can't stay in the court without lying and hiding what they were actually recorded as and doing.